Do you know him?
See, just in time. There's some guy lying over on the grass here. Come on.
I'm sorry, you can't move that body until the coroner gets here.
What are you talking about? You can't leave him lying here.
I don't intend leaving him, Doctor. I just want the coroner to see him before we move him.
Why, this isn't a coroner's case.
Why are they just leaving him lie there?
I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for somebody.
It's terrible just to leave him there.
What was it? Heart attack? Did you see it?
No, we just came around the corner and he was lying in the grass. Do you know who called the police?
Well, Lawson called the ambulance. I guess the cop just came along with him.
Dr. Wojeck, I'm PC Leonard.
What's this all about?
I can tell you what this is about.
Sorry, sir, I didn't get your name.
Dr. Matthew Lawson of the University Health Service, and I think it's outrageous the way this man has prevented this boy's body from being removed.
I found these in his shirt pocket.
Bennies?
Yeah.
Well, what does that mean? He had a few Deximal capsules?
A few. What do you consider a lot, Doctor? You know what these are?
Sugar cubes.
Well, go ahead, have a couple.
Huh?
Now, you know they're saturated with LSD?
Did you turn him on, Tony? Was Gordy an acid head?
Come on, let's get out of here.
What did he mean, Tony? Mark?
Byron, tell them they can move the body.
I'll take this back to the lab. I guess they'll call you.
Where are you taking him?
To the morgue.
But you can't do that. Do you know who this boy's father is?
Who?
Well, look around you. The Ply Library, the Ply Research Foundation. This boy's father is F.J. Ply.
Tony?
What?
Tony, it's not your fault.
What's not my fault?
Well, about Gordy.
What about Gordy?
You know what Marky said about acid head.
I was just sucking wind. Seeing him like that got to me. It doesn't mean anything. Forget it.
Come on, now, don't let it bother you.
It doesn't bother me. Why should it? I've got more important things to worry about. I've got my exams, graduation.
Now, Tony, that is important. You've got to start thinking about the future.
What are you going to do? And you? You got it all mapped out? You're going to stay on and get a postgraduate degree, aren't you? And you, Marky, just what are you going to do?
Tony, my father wants me to get that degree and...
You want to get the master's degree. That's what's important. And what after the master's? A doctorate? You two'd like to spend the rest of your life here on this campus. Fat, warm, and comfortable. Telling me to think about the future. You don't even know what the word means.
You're the man with the wheels. You tell us about it.
All right? It's like finding yourself in a room, a big, empty room, and it's all velvet and gold. And there's a door in the room. And you know that behind that door, there's something really beautiful or terrifying. So you put your hand out and you touch the door. And you open it.
And what's behind it?
It's not what's behind the door that's important. It's having the courage to open it.
What was all that about?
Hey, man, like it's closed, baby. Oh, you got a key, eh? That's a groove. Gotta have a key wherever you go, eh?
Hi, babes.
Tony? Oh, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Hey. Tony? What?
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant, Tony.
A chance. I figure, what have I got to lose? Just the account, right? So I said, listen, your people came to our agency. We didn't go after you. Now, we'll take your account and we'll sell your soup. Just don't tell us how to do it. I tell you, Chummy Perkins turned white. White. Inside, I was white, too. I don't want to kid you. But I didn't let on. And then, bingo. That old futzer creaked to his feet, shuffled across the room, looked me right in the eye, and he said, "You have got the account." Where are you going?
I've got a surprise for you.
Oh.
Surprise!
Hey, where'd we get that?
I knew you were going to swing it.
Oh.
So on sheer faith, I went out and bought 3 bottles.
3 bottles. Are we going to wait for Tony?
No, the first 2 glasses for you and me. Whee!
There we are. There we are.
To you, my darling.
Thank you.
What's the party for?
Oh, Tony, I didn't hear you come in.
What's it all about?
Your brilliant father has just landed the Reynolds soup account.
Reynolds, huh? They sure make lousy soup.
Oh,
Drink it and laugh, Tony boy. It pays the rent.
I remember when you got that baby soap account. I went around smelling like a violet for 3 years.
Well, how are things going at school, Tony?
Oh, you know.
Have you decided what you're going to do yet? You graduate in a month. We're going to need some bright young guys on this account. Won't do you any harm being the boss's son.
I guess not.
You guess not. Listen, baby, in 2 years, you could be another vice president at 15 G's at least.
Don't call me baby.
At least 400 students, probably more, have gone for help to psychiatrists. Because they are emotionally disturbed, they are marks for every Benny pusher, every cult, every nut in the campus.
Copy.
No. Do you know how many suicides last year at the university?
There were 4 committed suicide, and there were 14 attempts. Razors, knives, pills. 1 girl swallowed bleach. Whew. Why didn't you turn that thing down? It's boiling. Who's this Dr. Lawson?
One of the doctors of the University Health Service.
Well, what's all that about him and the Bennies?
He's a company man, Arnie. He didn't want a scandal in the campus.
Boy's lying there dead, and some alma mater type doesn't want a scandal. Oh, that's a fine pile of cuties you have in your trade, Doctor.
What are we going to do?
Viv, get a hold of Joe Seidler at the General. See if he can do an autopsy for me this afternoon or this evening. The sooner the better.
How dare you? You mutilated the body of my son. Listen to me. Don't turn your back at me when I'm talking to you. I'll have your guts for this. Witchcock, whatever your name is.
My name is Wojeck, you loud-mouthed buffoon. What the hell are you doing? Trying to frighten me? I'll get out and take your fat loud-mouth out with you.
Nobody talks to me like that.
Mr. Ply, you put your son in an autopsy room, not me. Just remember that. Did you know your boy was sick? Did you know that he was seeing a psychiatrist for the last 6 weeks?
No.
The cerebral hemorrhage was caused by a constant misuse of amphetamines. Gordon was using pep pills so that he could work harder, so that he could achieve goals you set for him. The only thing he ever achieved was a psychotic personality. You pressured him into killing himself with those pills.
When can we take Gordon?
This afternoon. We'll send the body to the undertakers. If you write the address down, please.
Will we be able to have an open casket?
I wouldn't if I were you. Did Gordon have any special friends?
I don't know.
No one is alone. No one is unimportant. Let go of your egos. We will go beyond persons that you are. We will experience the transcendental. Yourselves of all restrictions and inhibitions. Your mind is a bird. Let it soar, soar. Say Tori. Touch the light. When you have freed yourselves of all your chains, there will be rebirth. Leap into the unconsciousness. You're free of the world, free of your ego.
Good soup.
That's borscht.
I'm sorry, Marty. I just got the report from the autopsy report in the ply kit. You wouldn't believe it. We found concentrations of amphetamine that would knock over a horse. And the sugar cubes at 3 times the normal dosage of LSD. Hey, there really is good soup.
Thanks. Don't you want to know what's in the chafing dish?
Halopshis. You smell good?
They smell of cabbages and onions.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever stop to think about that dirty lake out there? You know, it's part of all the water in the world. There's streams and rivers and ponds and lakes, and they all flow into each other somewhere. They're all part of the same thing. Someday I'd really like to walk straight out there and really become a part of all that.
Tony.
Bing, 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 bing. Come with me down to Brasilia, out where the cold winds never blow. We'll lose our cares almost there, we'll lose our troubles then there, out where the sunshine always aflows. So bing, 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 bing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Any requests this evening? No good man. Oh, you're bitter, baby.
Fair Wind Blues.
Fair Wind Blues? Yeah. All right. Fair Wind.
Two espressos, please.
Fair wind, soft wind, sweet wind, where did you go? Fair wind, sweet wind, where did you go? All I feel are icy blasts, and all I see is the cold, cold snow. Now when the summertime last came, and I last felt the sweet, hot
Do you know her?
What?
I said, do you know her?
Yeah, sure. Everyone knows her.
And I last felt the sweet hot touch of love. I thought that September'd finally bring the warmth of love.
It is easy, dangerously easy, to compare two poems that have for their themes identical subjects. But Goldsmith idealizes his village green.
What's wrong?
He sings of it as he would like to see it. Blake, however, has the greater mind, and his village green is a perfect example of poetic obliquity. The feeling of the village in Blake's poem is diffused through all the parts of the poem, and can only be apprehended through synthesis. Wait a minute. Read both these poems again, and we'll take them up next time. Thank you. Mr. Collins, may I speak to you for a minute?
Well, sir, I'm sorry, but I've got an appointment.
I won't keep you very long. I just wanted to talk to you about your essay on Blake. I don't understand it. There's no logic. And yet there is that incredible feeling that it's right. And I don't understand how it can be right, and that's what bothers me. You say, or seem to say, that Blake's visions of symbols resulted from some kind of self-induced hallucination. You write of it almost as if you, too, had experienced some terrible imagery. There's such an intimacy, almost as if you knew Blake personally. There's such a, what's the word, Tony?
Oneness.
What do you mean, oneness?
Another sermon at the crossroads. A lot of gibberish. This also is spring tranquility.
I don't understand what you're talking about anymore, or what you're trying to do to yourself, Tony. They submitted that essay and no one understood it. Believe me, it wasn't funny. Don't you want to graduate? What is wrong with you?
What do you want from me, Liz? Do you want me to lay my life out in a neat little pattern so you know exactly where to probe, where to put your fingers? What do you want from me? Do you want me to make it easy for you?
I don't know what you mean.
Look at this hand. It's just like any other hand, right? It can touch things, it can feel. But have you ever stopped to consider what kind of marvelous universe controls this hand? What makes this hand feel? What makes it touch things? Haven't you ever wondered?
Mark Walton?
Yeah?
May I come in? I'm Sergeant of Detectives Byron James.
Oh, yeah. Come in.
I understand you were a friend of Gordon Blythe's.
Oh, well, we took the same English class, but our courses were different.
So you really weren't a friend?
Well, you know, you see a guy around, you talk with him a little bit, but that's all. He was never part of our group.
Was he part of any group? Did he have any special friends?
Oh, no. He was always pretty much of a loner.
Thanks. Sorry to disturb you.
No problems. Hello, Mrs. Collins? This is Marky Walton. Is Tony there? Oh, well, no, I'll call him back later. Okay, thanks.
Who's Tony Collins? Was he a friend of Gordon Blythe?
Look, Tony, I'm 35 years old. Now, what am I going to do with a baby?
You could raise it to be a human being.
We're talking about real things. This isn't just some idea. I've got your child in here. Tony, I'm in trouble. I need help.
I'm not going to help you destroy that.
Now, please, I've never asked you for anything before. Please help me. I haven't got the money. If I had the money, I wouldn't have told you about it. You'd never have known. Tony, look at me. I'm trying to stay alive. That's why I have a place like this where kids come. That's why I have you. Tony, get me the money. Please get me the money. Tony. Tony. Tony, aren't you bothered even a little bit by this?
What do you mean, no?
I just can't see myself hustling soup for the rest of my life. It's that simple.
Tony, look, that's the whole world. The buyers and the sellers. That's what makes it work.
It's your whole world, all right, but it's not mine. I want something more. There's got to be something more.
Look, Tony, life is economics. There are dollars, and they pass from hand to hand, from the buyers to the sellers. We're buyers and sellers, that's all. We sell what we make, we buy what we need.
I find it hard to believe that we've endured 2,000 years of civilization just to be categorized that primitively.
Don't get cute with me, baby.
Stop calling me baby!
Tony, darling, all your father is trying to do is to make things easier for you.
That's it, you tell him.
Tony, it'll be so much easier for you this way with your father able
Easier?
to...
You'll have it made.
I've got it made.
Oh, you talk to him. He's driving me crazy.
Try to understand him. He's worked his heart out getting where he is. What he wants for you. He just doesn't want you to have to struggle the way he did.
Well, I was part of a small group of students, 5 or 6. They meet on weekends and get high, or whatever the word is in LSD. There was this one guy, the guru. Guru? It's a Hindu word. It means teacher.
I know what it means.
Well, anyway, the guru conducted these sessions. Clyde had one friend, Tony Collins. It was Collins who brought him into the LSD group. You see, LSD is hallucinogenic. The user develops a tremendous enthusiasm and wants the whole world to turn on. Great, huh?
That's lovely. You know who this guru is?
Yes, no. His identity is big secret. All Locke knows is that he's in the psychology department, a part-time lecturer.
You mean he's on staff? A teacher? You gotta be kidding. Where does this Tony Collins kid live? An inquest is not a trial. All we want to do is find out about Gordon Ply. Find out why he was taking drugs. And then perhaps through the inquest, help prevent more deaths like this.
Other students must have known him. Why are you bothering Tony?
Tony was the only friend we found.
Oh, come on. You don't spend almost 4 years in a school and make only one friend.
Ply made only one friend. Your son.
Hey, Fran, take it easy, will you?
Anybody want one?
No, thank you.
How about you?
Thank you, no.
How about you?
Cut it out, will you, Fran? Fran, cut it. What's wrong? Will you excuse me?
Nice house.
Big pool?
Good-looking woman, too. Well kept up.
You make her sound like a cemetery plot.
I've seen you before, haven't I? You were there that day on the campus. You must be the coroner.
That's right. I'm Steve Wojeck. This is Byron James. You must be Tony.
That's right.
We came to talk to you about Gordon Ply, Tony.
What's there to say? He just never made it. That pitiful little man that was inside Gordon Ply was just too terrified to reach out for anything that he couldn't see or hear. He refused to transcend himself.
What does that mean?
Well, each of us is given life and death. It's the fate of some people to spend their lives as dead souls, but it's the destiny of other people to experience psychic rebirth. There's a moment in everybody's life when you get to choose between perpetual light or infinite darkness. Gordy Ply picked death.
It was done under analysis. Interesting, eh?
Mm.
If you look at it from a certain angle, you can see a face in it.
Whose?
The artist's first wife. You know, she practically castrated him. He got so he couldn't make a decision without getting her approval first. It's fascinating. Women nowadays getting more aggressive and men more passive.
What happened to her?
She married a lawyer. It was a messy business all around.
What happened to Gordon Ply?
I don't know, really. I only saw him for 6 weeks, an hour at a time. And half of that time was spent in total silence. I know he was terrified of authority. My daughter practically dragged him here, physically.
Did he ever mention a Tony Collins?
One time only. He spoke of Tony Collins as if he had a crush on him, a kind of hero worship. But I don't think there was anything more to it than that.
Why did you contact the University Health Service?
Last time I saw him, he had changed. He was very calm. But behind that tranquility, there was an incredible tension. I wanted somebody to keep an eye on him at school.
Did you know that he was taking LSD?
Really? Where was he getting it?
I don't know. Yet. There's a small cult on the campus.
So you know about that?
About what?
About LSD being cultogenic. You know, it's fascinating about that drug. We have been treating alcoholics, not very generally, but with some. And the results? Some of these people come out of an LSD treatment with an entirely new insight into their problems. Just one injection, sometimes, for some people.
You mentioned your daughter.
Yes?
Is her name Elizabeth?
Yes, what's she got to do with this?
Did you know that she's been seeing Tony Collins for the past 2 years?
Why can't you tell me?
Well, it's not the sort of thing you can tell or explain. You have to experience it yourself.
But that's what I want to do. I
Liz,
wanna
I'm sorry I brought it up. Let's just drop it, huh?
It sounds so fascinating.
Would you think it was fascinating if you could see what it was like to die?
Is it always like that?
Sometimes, yes.
And I don't know why you take it.
Because sometimes it's not like that. Sometimes it's like holding hands with God.
The only legal recognition that the damn drug exists is in Section H of the Federal Food and Drug Act, which only forbids its sale.
Yeah.
Not even doctors can get it. But the way the law stands now, any nut can bring in LSD from the United States and pass it around like popcorn. Well, if the passer gives it to a juvenile, we can charge him under the Juvenile Delinquency Act. If the person who takes the drug dies, and we can prove intent on the part of the passer, we can charge him with maybe criminal negligence or manslaughter. There just isn't any legislation about LSD. Now, the bennies, that's something else. If we could find out who gave Gordon the bennies...
If. Do you know how many people have been saying if to me? If only I'd spoken to my son, if only I knew he was taking drugs, if only there was proper legislation. If we don't get to Tony Collins, he's going to wind up in the autopsy room just like Ply.
Steve, there is nothing I can do. Well, he's no longer a juvenile, and the drug is not banned. Now, what do you want me to do?
I don't know. I don't know.
We could put him in a mental hospital for a couple of weeks.
Oh, come on.
Well, all right. It's not exactly legal. But it might save his life.
It's like the chicken and the egg. Is the psychosis due to taking LSD, or is he taking LSD because of a previously psychotic condition? Or is he psychotic at all?
Tony, for God's sake, say something.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know, say anything. Just talk to me.
Look, don't be frightened.
What do you mean, don't be frightened? It's not exactly like having a manicure, you know?
Look, take it easy, will you? It'll be over in a little while.
Oh! I think it's happening. Oh. 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 Tony, help me. Tony, for God's sake, help. Tony. Oh.
He forged my signature to a check. I tell you, Fran, I'm going to beat his head in. $350. What does he need it for? The tuition fees, I paid them last September. Was it an accident? Was it a girl? That's it. That, what's her name? That Elizabeth,
Elizabeth Downey.
Yeah, that's it. Tony got her in trouble and had to bail her out.
Sounds as if you're proud of him.
Well, he is a man.
And that makes it all right for him to steal from you?
Well, he probably panicked. You know how it is. She was probably putting him under awful pressure, the poor kid.
Who, Tony or the girl?
Oh, who gives a damn about some square who's too stupid to take care of herself?
Oh. Here's to all the squares in the world.
Keep the blood going. Don't forget, 2 million units of penicillin every 2 hours.
What's the point?
She's alive, isn't she?
You Dr. Ripley?
Yes?
I'm detective for Frank Quinlan.
I believe you.
So you look a little beat. You had a rough day?
Well, nobody promised it would be easy.
You treating Sheila Datton? How is she?
She's got a ripped uterus. She's got a Jim Dandy septicemia. She's been hemorrhaging for over an hour. She's in great shape.
You mind if I talk to her?
You can try, but she won't make much sense.
Thanks.
Sheila? Sheila? Can you hear me? Sheila? Can you hear me? Sheila, who did this to you? What was the name? Sheila, who? What was his name? Let me get you even.
Tony.
Tony who?
Tony. Tony.
Who?
Tony Collins.
His name was Charles Southern. He used to teach at a university in California. He was kicked out. They caught him in a motel with some co-ed, a student of his. Came here a couple of years ago, and on the strength of 2 books he'd written, landed a part-time job in the psychology department. He's pretty bright, I gather. He's coming out with a new book next year, The Nature of Consciousness-Expanding Drugs.
And he's using his students as guinea pigs.
Could be. Maybe he's hipped on this LSD himself.
What about the Bennies? Did you find out who's pushing them?
No. It might be Southern, but I doubt it. It could be some kid whose old man owns a drugstore. It could be a medical student who's pinching them from a hospital. Maybe just a hood. Could be anybody.
What the hell are you saying?
I'm saying that we come up a loser this time as far as the Bennies are concerned.
All right. First thing tomorrow, I want you to issue summons for Tony Collins, Elizabeth Downey, Dr. James Downey, and Charles Southern. How long will it take you to get a jury together?
A day? A day.
Okay, set the inquest for a day after tomorrow.
Hey, but that's our anniversary.
I'll get it. Jazz up the coffee a bit, will you, honey? Steve Wojeck.
Do you want Irish or cognac?
Yes, Arnie.
Irish will be fine.
I find that hard to believe, Arnie. Yes, I know you've got witnesses, but you said she was delirious.
Say when.
When?
All right. I'm scheduling Gordon Ply's inquest the day after tomorrow. Byron found the guru. Charles Southern. Okay, Arnie, thanks. Good night.
That's good. What's wrong?
Police have issued the warrant for the arrest of Tony Collins.
Well, I'm afraid so, Mr. Collins. We've got 3 witnesses.
I don't believe it.
Well, I was there. I heard her say it.
Maybe it was some other Tony Collins. It's not an uncommon name.
No, we checked that out. Your son's been seeing this woman over the past year. He even registered at the hotel under his own name, Mr. and Mrs. Tony Collins.
Well, if he was going to do a stupid thing like that, why would he use his own name? He'd pick another name.
Well, that's the one thing in his favor. Now, maybe she's lying. Maybe she's got a grudge against him. That's possible. Anyway, if I could talk to the boy, I think we could clear the whole thing up in a couple of minutes.
I wish I knew where he was.
I can see my body. I'm in the corner of the room, and I can see my body. And I'm dead. I don't want to be dead. I don't want to be dead.
Going beyond the person you are, Elizabeth. Your inner self is reaching out for oneness with the universe. Free yourself.
Can you see the candle? It's like a golden ball, and I'm right in the middle of it, and it's alive. And it's throbbing.
You are a brilliant light in infinite space.
It's cold.
It's warm. It's light. Float. Float down the warm rivers of your mind. Float out to the sea of light.
I'm free. I'm so free. Oh, and there's light and there's air and I'm glowing. Tony, can you see me glowing? Tony, are you near me?
Speak to her, Tony. Join her. Tony.
you.